It's all covered in today's China Truths.
China's megaports lie abandoned, buried under endless mountains of idle containers. China's top ports have fallen eerily silent. Once bustling harbors now resemble ghost towns. Towering stacks of empty containers line the docks like abandoned monuments. Cargo ships rust in place, unmoving. Trans-Pacific shipping routes have ground to a halt, crippled by President Trump's harsh tariff measures. According to the latest data from Line Reteca, a shipping intelligence platform, China's export volume has collapsed by 50%. In just 1 month, shipments to the U.S. were slashed in half. The scale of disruption is staggering. 80 outbound voyages from China have been abruptly canceled. Footage from the ground paints a chilling picture. China's ports, including the likes of Ningbo, Yangshan, and Yantian, are now cemeteries of steel. Cranes remain frozen, and not a single ship sails in or out. An on-site port worker filmed the grim scene. "Let me show you the reality of China's foreign trade. All the cranes are raised, no ship in sight." The emptiness is so widespread that containers are now backed up all the way to inland storage sites like Taikang. At Yantian Port, stacks have reached 7 levels, the maximum safety height for empty containers, drawing alarm and viral attention. Despite official silence, the numbers don't lie. A mid-April 2025 report by logistics firm Vision revealed that bookings for 20-foot containers on China-US routes plunged by 45% year-over-year. The Wall Street Journal confirmed shipping giants are downsizing vessels, from megaships carrying 18,000 TEUs to mid-size ships with 14,500 TEUs. The message is clear. Demand has collapsed and the entire Trans-Pacific route is at a standstill. The fallout extends far beyond the ports. With cargo volumes shrinking, businesses are reeling. In provinces like Jiangsu and Hunan, factories are halting recruitment. Even temporary workers are being turned away. A viral list of the top 10 electronics manufacturers suspending hiring includes BYD, Chuangzhou, and Lingyin. At a toy factory in Yiwu, over 300 packed containers sit gathering dust while freight forwarders advise against shipping. One furniture exporter had goods ready to go, only for the customer to vanish. Calls ignored, emails unanswered. Later, the company discovered the order had moved to Vietnam. Foreign trade businesses are now offloading inventory in desperation. TikTok-like platforms such as Douyin and Shopee are flooded with live streams selling products originally meant for Europe and the US. Household appliances, daily goods, at rock-bottom prices, 1 yuan per jin, or roughly 27 cents per kilogram. It's so cheap it's practically a giveaway, but firms are willing to sell at a loss to free up warehouse space and recover funds. Even the global shipping titans are pulling back. Maersk, Hapag-Lloyd, CMA CGM, and Costco are reducing sailings or ditching China-US routes altogether. Some vessels are departing ports with empty holds just to maintain the illusion of normalcy. Meanwhile, freight rates have plunged from $8,000 to just $3,500 for a 40-foot container from Shanghai to Los Angeles, and still, no buyers. The global supply chain is drifting away from China. Vietnam, Mexico, and Thailand are rapidly taking its place. Port of Los Angeles Executive Director Gene Soroka reported that container volume this week dropped 30.4% from last week. Some May sailings have been canceled entirely. If the trade war drags on, he warned, cargo could fall another 35% in June, plunging the port into an unprecedented crisis. This isn't a downturn. It's a seismic shift, and for China's once booming foreign trade industry, it may already be too late. China's steel industry is collapsing. Countries globally turn their backs. 150,000 Chinese jobs lost.
It's all covered in today's China Truths.
The once mighty Chinese steel industry is now crashing headfirst into a global wall of tariffs and distrust. From overproduction and dumping to low-quality products, Chinese steel has triggered a massive backlash, and the consequences are now spiraling out of control. More than 150,000 workers have already lost their jobs, and hundreds of steel companies have gone bankrupt. Just this morning, a customer who planned to order 100 steel plates suddenly canceled. The reason? Even Vietnam and South Korea, once friendly trade partners, are now slapping punitive tariffs on Chinese steel. This is no longer a trade dispute. It's a global steel blockade. In the past, Chinese steel dominated the world. Today, it's being shut out by over 20 countries across Asia, Europe, the Americas. In the U.S., new tariffs of up to 145% have devastated China's entire export supply chain. And unlike before, there's no backdoor. Countries like Vietnam and Thailand now enforce strict origin tracking, making it nearly impossible to rebrand Chinese steel. Exports are plummeting. Vietnam imposed up to 28% tariffs on Chinese hot-rolled coil. South Korea added 38% anti-dumping tariffs on shipbuilding and construction steel. The EU followed quickly, with tariffs as high as 62.6%. In the US, steel that isn't fully melted and cast in North America is rejected outright. China's steel exports to the US have dropped to nearly zero. The crisis officially exploded in early 2024. Out of 2011 domestic steel companies, 75 shut down, with 115 blast furnaces idled. Major players like Dongling Group and Jiangdalong Nickel filed for bankruptcy, leaving tens of thousands unemployed. In some provinces, steel prices fell to just 2,900 yuan per ton, a 6-year low. Dozens of companies have halted production under the guise of maintenance because they can no longer survive. By mid-2024, China had a steel surplus of 400 million tons, more than the combined annual output of the world's second to 10th largest producers. That's enough steel to build 300,000 towers or circle the Earth with railway tracks 90 times. But here's the most shocking part. Despite producing over 1 billion tons of steel a year worth 8.7 trillion yuan, China's entire industry earns only 29.1 billion yuan in profit. That's less than 30 yuan profit per ton, not even enough to buy a pack of cigarettes. The profit margin? Just 0.33%, a fraction of the global average. The 2-year crisis has revealed a brutal truth. Overcapacity kills. China flooded the world with cheap steel, and now the world is slamming the door shut. The golden age of Chinese steel is over, and the cold winter? It's just beginning. President Trump, look what your policies have done. Because of your trade policies, our production lines have come to a halt. The textile industry here has long relied on the U.S. market, and now entire factories are shutting down. Just look around. Rows and rows of plants have gone silent. The American empire isn't a paper tiger. It's a real one. The U.S.-China trade war and America's capital controls have hit us hard. Just today, a friend in Kunshan told me his electronics company had to halt all operations. The factory is shut, and now even the office staff are working from home. If the stoppage lasts another month, they may not have jobs to return to. Jiangsu province lives off exports, especially to the U.S., and Kunshan is packed with Taiwan-invested firms focused on electronics. But with U.S. demand blocked, people here are in crisis. This trade war has just escalated again, with the Trump administration slapping a jaw-dropping 245% tariff on Chinese goods. That's not just a number, it's a sledgehammer blow to our already struggling economy, sending factories and workers into freefall. In response, China hit back with up to 125% tariffs on U.S. imports. Just like we've shown in our previous videos, there's a lot the public hasn't been told. The truth has been buried under waves of one-sided reporting, downplaying China's suffering while amplifying U.S. troubles. So in this video, let's hear directly from the people, ordinary Chinese citizens, about the pain they're enduring in this trade war. This man stands in front of a cold, silent warehouse, eyes heavy with sorrow. Inside, container after container of goods, once bound for America, now stranded. He wrote on his personal page,
"Last year, exports were smooth, we shipped as soon as we finished. Who would have thought this year would turn out like this?"
Lowering his head, he sighs.
"I really don't know what else I can do. These years have drained me. I just want to rest. But then I look at those pallets just sitting there. I shake my head. Who knows when they'll move again?"
His silence says it all: exhaustion, defeat, and despair. Today, the company needed just 20 workers. Over 200 showed up, and more are still arriving. The same story is playing out all over Hangzhou, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai. Few openings, too many applicants. Everyone's stuck here, desperate. This factory? It's nicknamed the Death Line in Jiasha. Even dogs wouldn't work here. But now, people are fighting to get in, and even then, there's no guarantee. You better ask yourself what makes you stand out. It's no longer who wants the job, it's who deserves it. Out of 300 people, only 20 will be hired. Less than a 10% chance. Even the media's reporting it now. 300,000 rural workers in Zhejiang can't find work. Some rush in with hope, only to leave disappointed. Many come, but no one's hiring. No calls, no interviews. Let's just go, some whisper. It's over. And yet another factory goes bankrupt. A factory that had invested tens of millions of yuan with tens of thousands of machines, gone. Everything's been hauled away. The US-led tariff war has only lasted 12 days, but thousands of factories have already shut their doors. The owner here hasn't slept for 3 days. He filled orders that now can't be shipped. The warehouse is packed, the bills are mounting, the whole production line is frozen, and debt is piling up. Creditors, suppliers, workers, all showing up demanding payment and salaries. Out of options, the boss had to sell everything at dirt-cheap prices. Machines worth tens of millions, state-of-the-art tech, some only bought a year or two ago, precision lathes, CNC centers, magnetic separators, wire-cutting machines, all sold for scraps. The trade war is brutal. Over 1,000 jeans factories in Zhongshan have shut down. The entire export-driven garment industry is hanging by a thread. Only a few factories survive, mostly by shifting focus to the domestic market. But that won't last long. As foreign trade companies fail to export, they'll flood the local market, triggering a fierce price war. Factories that just hired workers are now thinking about layoffs. Letting them go is heartbreaking, but keeping them means bleeding money. Many factories are caught in a deadlock and quietly going bankrupt without notice, without a sound. In Huzhou, countless factories have stopped operating. Business owners are anxious, asking, "Are there any orders left this year? Can we keep going?" One veteran factory boss said it best, "These days, you can do anything. Just don't open a factory." Why has it come to this? Sky-high rents, massive overcapacity, plummeting orders due to the US tariffs, and mounting taxes. Profits are suffocating. Prices are collapsing in a race to the bottom. The post-70s and 80s generation of factory owners are burning out. Is there any future left for Huzhou's manufacturing industry? Even old giants are falling. A century-old textile plant in Hangzhou just shut down, laying off over 10,000 workers across its subsidiaries. In Guangzhou, a 145% U.S. tariff on Chinese textiles has paralyzed the industry. Nearly half of China's 12,000 textile factories have stopped production. Machines once roaring day and night now sit silent. In Nantong, it's worse. Tens of thousands of SMEs are fighting for survival. Orders are down 60%. Profits are razor thin. Owners are stuck in tangled debt chains, running daily between courts and banks, begging for a lifeline. Some mortgaged their homes. Others borrowed at high interest just to pay workers. Most cry alone at night in empty workshops. This isn't drama. This is real. One man, once an ABS plastics exporter to the U.S., is now recording videos for Taobao. With exports blocked, he's pitching his products online, explaining specs, durability, and heat resistance, hoping to stay afloat. "We're committed to quality," he says, though survival is all he can really promise. As he walks across his massive half-empty factory, he says it takes 20 minutes just to get from one end to the other. "If this place shuts down," he sighs, "it would be a tragedy."
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.